In a post on its X account on Tuesday, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has listed the federal government's major support to state governments to cushion the effects of the economic hardships faced by Nigerians. This comes amid the ongoing nationwide protests. We now have joining us via Zoom from Birnin Kebbi, the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Development of Kebbi State, Dr. Abba Sani Kalgo, to discuss the impact of federal government's support to states and what next for Nigeria's economic future. You're welcome to Business Express. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. Well, you have seen the recent you've been following development, which I believe everyone is in the country. Now, when the federal government said it has released more than 500 billion naira to states, does this imply the states are not actually doing enough to redistribute public good to the grassroots? Looking at the protests.
Oh, no, not at all, not in the slightest. In reality, if you consider the quantum of resources and the levels of the work that needs to be done, it is not exactly fair to say that the states are not doing enough. It's just that it's a situation of there's so much to be done, and there's not enough resources. So that is one of the issues. But in reality, the states are doing all they can to ensure that they help uh, ameliorate this issue of cost of crisis living.
Now, Mr. Kogo, let me take you on. You talked about this. It's not that the state they are not doing enough. What are they actually doing to complement the federal government? Because most of this anger, when you look at it, is directed towards the federal government. And when we have a federal system where the components supposed to be working together to see that governance has reached the man at the grassroots.
So in essence, what the states are doing is because the states do have a lot of social intervention programs where they intervene in sectors that they feel like they have to come in. So if you balance the need to bridge infrastructural deficits against um, social interventions, healthcare, and education, this is where you begin to see the imbalance and the need for for um, manage and put in their resources as efficiently as they can. Also, also the states are also in increasingly, if you take Kebbi, for example, we are actively trying to cut down the cost of governance to ensure that we free up enough resources to go towards poverty eradication and poverty amelioration.
Okay, what about the issue of revenue generation? If you look at it, the latest report on capital importation, it shows only Ekiti State attracted foreign direct investment besides Abuja and Lagos. What more, what are you actually doing, most especially in your states? What are you doing to attract more revenues? Because you said that the resources are not just enough, but we have to just think out of the box and come up with ways that we can, generate revenue.
I mean that's a very brilliant question. I think you also have to look at the answer that question within the context of what exactly is it that mitigates against um, the direct investment and things like that. And this is where we begin to now say that we are introducing again. I'll use Kebbi as an example where I am from and whose government I work for. We are introducing reforms across the justice sector. We're introducing reforms across the land sector. We're introducing reforms uh, to ensure that we bridge deficits to attract investments. We have set up an investment promotion agency that is supposed to be a one-stop shop to ensure that we make everything as easy as it is for investors trying to come into the state. So in essence, to answer your question in a nutshell, is that we are creating an enabling environment for investors to come into the state. And I'm sure that as soon as these reforms concretize, you will begin to see investments coming into states like Kebbi. But of course, this is without prejudice to other investments that we have in Kebbi. We have GB Foods that has the largest tomato factory in sub-Saharan Africa, just as we have a huge rice mill and our landscape is replete with rice mills. So we are attracting investment, perhaps not just at the scale that we want to, but this is why we're bringing in these reforms to ensure that we we make it as attractive as possible for investors to come into the state.
Okay, you know, Kebbi is known for, just like you said, landmass and known for rice production, I think. How much of this has been put into, or how much investment has been put into agriculture to make sure that we address the food shortages that we are seeing in recent times?
Sorry, I think you were breaking. I didn't exactly catch the question.
Okay, what I'm saying is actually Kebbi is known for its landmass and agricultural potentials. How much have the state government put into these areas to see that food security in the country is somehow minimized? I mean, food insecurity. Mr. Kalgo, can you hear me?
Primarily an agrarian state.
Okay.
We are primarily an agrarian state, and that is our comparative advantage. And if you look at even from our budget and our budget releases, you will see that the agri sector is one that receives priority and receives a pride of place. We are signatories to the Maputo agreement, and so at least 10% of our budget goes to agriculture year in, year out. So we recognize the importance of the agricultural sector to the economic activities in the state, and that is where we place our priority, and that is where we ensure that we put in adequate resources.
Okay, much is expected of the state. The federal government has also increased FAC allocation to the states by almost 50% in first half of 2024 when compared with the first half of 2023. How effective have the increased FAC allocations and 5 billion naira palliative package been addressing the economic challenges faced by your state and probably other states?
Again, this is a very important and it's a very good question because governance primarily is always about allocating scarce resources. And yes, there has been an increase in FAC allocation, and perhaps maybe you need to come down to Birnin Kebbi and see the bridging of the infrastructural deficit. You only need to come to Kebbi and see the work being done, and also in all other sectors, be it health, be it education. We just spoke about the agricultural sector, and these sectors are all getting increased revenues, increased spendings to 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 recognize the importance and also to ensure that these resources are going towards meeting the expectations of the populace.
Now, when you look at the development in the country, you agree with me that enough is not being done. But what areas, in your opinion, should both the state and federal government look at to somehow address the issue of inflation and food insecurity and the rest?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. Again, for us in Kebbi, and this is one of the 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 key principles of the Comrade Nasser Idris-led administration, and that is we recognize that agriculture is our comparative advantage, and that is where we're putting all our strength. We are helping our smallholder farmers. We're helping our medium and small enterprises across the agricultural space to ensure that we maintain food security, but even more importantly, we ensure that people have uh, adequate resources to get through this cost of living crisis.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Abba Sani Kalgo. And for your invitation, I think I'll definitely take time and see how I can get myself to Kebbi to come and see what you've just
Yes,
said.
yes, you really should come to Kebbi and see the
Okay,
transformations and
beautiful. Thank you very
the
much
miracles
for
going
for
on.
your time.
We look forward to having you in Kebbi. Thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you.